everyone. Welcome back to the English On Air podcast, your cozy place for real English, real conversations, and thoughtful ideas for everyday life. I am your host, Ella.
And I'm Leo. We're so happy you're here with us today. Whether you're listening at home, during a walk, or maybe even while enjoying a cup of coffee, thank you for spending this time with us.
Today's episode is practical, comforting, and very useful for everyday life.
Yes, we're talking about English conversation at a coffee shop.
And before we get into the main topic, I think we should begin with something very simple.
Coffee?
Yes, coffee.
That feels exactly right.
So, Leo, are you the kind of person who drinks coffee just to wake up, or do you really enjoy the whole experience?
I definitely enjoy the whole experience. For me, coffee is not only about energy, it's also about slowing down for a moment.
I like that. It feels very calm.
Yes, I like the feeling of holding a warm cup, sitting down, and having a quiet start to the day.
I feel the same way. Coffee can feel like a little pause in life.
That's a beautiful way to say it.
Thank you. I think that's one reason so many people love coffee shops too. It's not only about the drink, it's also about the atmosphere.
Exactly. The music, the soft noise in the background, people talking quietly, the sound of cups and machines.
It can feel warm and comforting.
And for English learners, a coffee shop is also a very real place to practice simple English.
Yes, it's one of those everyday situations that sound small, but it matters a lot.
Because if you can order, ask a question, respond politely, and maybe even have a little small talk, that's already real communication.
Exactly. And the good news is that you do not need difficult English for this.
You just need a few simple phrases that feel natural and easy to remember.
So let's imagine this situation together. You walk into a coffee shop. Maybe it's a quiet morning. Maybe it's a busy afternoon. You go to the counter and the person working there smiles and says, "Hi, what can I get for you?"
That's usually the first moment.
And for many English learners, that moment can feel a little stressful.
Yes, not because the conversation is long, but because it happens quickly.
Exactly. You want to answer clearly, but your mind suddenly becomes very full.
And sometimes even simple words disappear for a second.
That happens to many people. So the first thing to remember is this: keep it simple.
Simple English works very well in a coffee shop.
A very natural way to order is to say, "Can I have?" or "I'd like,"
For example, can I have a cappuccino, please?
or "I'd like a latte, please."
Both sound polite, clear, and natural.
You do not need long sentences.
Not at all. In fact, short and clear is often best in this kind of situation.
Now, after you order, the barista may ask you another question.
Yes, they might say, for here or to go?
Or, "What size would you like?"
Or maybe, would you like anything else?
These are very common coffee shop questions.
So let's go through some easy answers.
If they ask, "For here or to go," you can say, "For here, please."
Or to go, please.
If they ask about size, you can say, "Small, please," "Medium, please," or "Large, please."
And if they ask, would you like anything else? You can say, that's all, thank you.
These little phrases are very useful because they appear again and again in real life.
Yes, once you learn them, you start to feel more comfortable.
And comfort matters a lot when speaking a new language.
It really does, because when you feel calmer, your English usually comes more easily.
Now let's add one more layer. Sometimes you want to change something in your order.
Right, maybe you want a different type of milk, or no sugar, or a decaf coffee.
In that case, you can use simple phrases like, "Can I have oat milk, please?"
Or no sugar, please.
Or, "Can you make it decaf?"
Very simple, but very practical.
Let's build a full example. Okay,
Hi, can I have a medium latte with oat milk, please?
sure. Anything else today?
No, that's all, thank you.
That sounds very natural.
Yes, it's exactly the kind of short conversation many people have every day.
Now, I think it's important to say something here.
Go ahead.
Many learners worry too much about being perfect in moments like this.
That's true.
They think, what if my grammar is not perfect? Or what if my pronunciation is not perfect?
But in a coffee shop, the main goal is simply to communicate.
Exactly. You are there to order, understand, respond, and be polite.
Most people are not checking your grammar. They're listening for meaning.
And if your meaning is clear, the conversation is already working.
I think that idea can help people relax a little.
Me too. Because sometimes the fear in your mind is bigger than the actual conversation.
Yes, the actual exchange is often short, friendly, and very manageable.
Now let's talk about another part of coffee shop English.
Small talk?
Yes, a little small talk.
I like that part.
Me too. Not every coffee shop conversation includes small talk, but sometimes it happens naturally.
Especially if you go to the same place often.
Or if the barista is friendly and the shop is not too busy.
They might ask, "How's your day going?"
Or, busy morning?
Or even, "Doing anything nice today?"
And the good news is that your answer does not need to be long.
Not at all. You can say, "It's going well, thank you."
Or, a little busy but good.
Or, "Pretty relaxed, actually."
These kinds of answers sound natural because they are simple and human.
And if you want, you can also return the question.
Yes, that's a great way to sound friendly.
For example, "It's going well, thank you. How about you?"
Very useful. It keeps the conversation warm without making it complicated. Now let's imagine a different situation. Maybe you are not only ordering coffee, maybe you are meeting a friend in a coffee shop.
That's also a very common real-life situation.
In that case, the English becomes a little more relaxed and conversational.
You might say, "Do you want anything to drink?"
Or, I think I'll get an iced coffee.
Or, "This place is really nice."
Or, I come here sometimes. The coffee's good.
These are simple café phrases, but they help you speak more naturally in a real setting.
And that's what we want for our listeners. Not textbook English, but real English.
Exactly. English that feels usable.
English that fits daily life.
English that helps you feel more at ease when you go outside and actually speak.
Now, I want to mention something that many learners experience.
What's that?
Sometimes the most difficult part is not speaking, it's understanding what the other person says.
Yes, especially when they speak quickly.
Or when there is background noise.
That can make things harder.
So, if you don't understand, it is completely okay to ask them to repeat.
That is a very important skill.
You can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?"
Or, "Sorry, I didn't catch that."
Or even, "Sorry, a little slower, please."
These are polite and helpful.
And they can save the conversation.
Definitely, because pretending to understand usually creates more stress.
It's much better to ask calmly and clearly.
I think many learners need to hear that.
Yes, asking for repetition is not failure.
It's part of real communication.
Even native speakers ask people to repeat sometimes.
That's true.
So please do not feel embarrassed if you need to ask again. Now, I think it would help if we gave our listeners a very simple pattern they can remember.
Good idea.
Hi, can I have a blank, please?
For here or to go?
For here, please. Or to go, please.
Anything else?
That's all. Thank you.
That short pattern can already help you in so many situations.
And if you want to add one more phrase, you can also remember, "Sorry, could you repeat that?"
Very useful.
So let's recap. In a coffee shop, simple English is enough.
You can order with "Can I have?" or "I'd like."
Be ready for common questions like size, milk, and for here or to go.
If you don't understand, ask politely for repetition.
And remember, you do not need perfect English to have a warm and successful interaction.
You just need a few clear phrases and the courage to use them.
So here's our question for you today. If you were standing in a coffee shop right now, what would you order in English? Try saying it out loud after this episode.
Or write your order in the comments.
You can even write a mini conversation if you want to practice more.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
We're really glad you were here.
We hope this episode helped you feel more comfortable with everyday English.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and be gentle with yourself while you learn.
This was the English on Air podcast with Leo and Ella.
Thank you for being with us.
Take care of yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
Bye, everyone.
See you in the next episode.
Your learning doesn't stop here. Click on the next video and continue your English journey with us.